LD3. Der Deutsche, the Old World Patreon.
And it's super great that you guys connected each other, and you guys are connected in the federation. You brought a lot of shoulders together, a lot of hands at the tables to work on these issues. And this brings me to another point. How is the TO networking in the UK? We already determined that you are kind of independent. Everyone runs some different com. You're thinking of aligning on com, which is an interesting process. I will closely watch from the distance how you make progress there and how the process is to get that com, because I know this is a heated debate and this is not easy to do. For example, a very extreme example here is Italy. Italy provides via the website Teil 3 or 4 different formats, tournament forms and sizes. In addition, not only singles but also team tournaments. They have their own centralized FHQ. So they provided the TO with a full package. Is England aiming to do similar?
There's no talk of that on the cards currently by any stretch. At the moment, the federation isn't involved. Other than the Masters tournament, isn't involved in running any tournament at all currently. They're not really involved in comp discussions, other than the fact that Sam and Rich, the chairman and vice chairman, and indeed Pash and Ollie, they are involved in so much as they are tournament organisers as well as chair people. So they're involved in that regard. But when it comes to sort of how we interact in the years, you're right. Everyone's independent. However, we're all on as many tournament organisers as we possibly can on a Discord, a UK tournament organizer Discord.
You have a separate tournament organizer Discord from the federation or from the team?
Yeah, it's just there as TOs where we talk about. Although they are looking at it, we're sort of syncing it with the Masters actual Discord, but it's on a separate section of it, where we try to align our calendars where possible. That
interesting.
We don't want to split the community where possible. So if for example Toy Soldier, which is a big event that's held in the northwest of the UK, that's on at the end of February. Other large tournaments will hopefully then avoid that for at least a couple of of weeks or so to not leech players from some of the bigger events and leave those big events as the big events fundamentally.
Because we already also told about that when we didn't record. The old world scene in England isn't that big either, right? In Germany it's even smaller, and we talked about it, and we assumed that in England you didn't have that much 9th age players, and it wasn't so successful there. This means you have a lot more influx from older editions, which are still out there and people play it. And we both hope that with a new edition or with some time, more people will come back to the game. Same is true also for the old world in Germany. But it's still dangerous for the tournaments in England. If like 2 big tournaments are 1 week after another, there will not be many of the top players going to both.
Yeah,
right?
they're probably still. I mean, they probably would still sell out and be filled, but try to avoid that risk. But also try to avoid it for the community as well, that people have got sort of finite time and finite income that they can just keep throwing at attending Warhammer events.
Yeah.
So you want to make it as feasible for you as a TO as much as possible, but also give people the best chance to be able to come, because it feels a bit rough when you hear back from someone, I really want to get a ticket, but actually I just attended this and I couldn't really justify another weekend away if you live somewhere else in the country, especially if you need to get hotels, etc. It quite quickly exacerbates into a relatively pricey weekend away.
What is the average travel time people do when they come to a tournament, or what is the maximum travel time? And sorry, not to understand wrong. Average player is able to commit or wants to commit to join the tournament. It will depend on the tournament for sure, right?
Yeah, for sure. Excuse me, sorry. It definitely depends on the relevant tournament, and I think because there's more and more tournaments floating around, a lot of people get less and less inclined to travel.
Yeah.
Which is the risk, because a lot of people don't want to travel more than, say, ballpark, I would say about the 3-hour mark is what a lot of people kind of sort of try to prioritize. But that said, for bigger events, for the last Forgotten North, we had people fly up from the very south of the country to attend. Drive up from the south, so like 6-7 hours.
But
Same
you
from
also,
the north of
you
Scotland.
also already made yourself a name, right? So Forgotten North is now
there is that, and like we owe nothing but a huge thanks to the community, to all of the people who've attended Forgotten North events, because the biggest selling point in Old World events is word of mouth. Yeah. And we're very thankful that people are always very, very positive about every event that we run. So we do get a lot of people travel from a good distance, especially a large proportion of our players come down from Scotland, because it's at least a feasible travel. A big chunk coming down from sort of Aberdeen and Inverness area, and that's a 5 to 6 hour drive, which is a good chunk. And because it's Scotland, there's absolutely no such thing as a motorway once you get north of Glasgow. There's just hills. Hills and whiskey. That's all that's up there.
Hills, whiskey, and Pash.
Yeah, hills. No, Pash doesn't go that far north. I don't think Pash has ever won a Scottish event. He just comes south of the wall to get us. Yeah, he just keeps invading. Yeah. So we're fortunate in that regard, that we've got sort of a wide community that will come to Forgotten North Events, which is incredible. Certain other bits of the country that are more densely populated than the north kind of get all their players from within 3 hours roughly. I would suggest is the ballpark.
This is similar to what we see right now in Germany. I mean, we have in Berlin, we have tournaments. There are like 1 million people, 3 million people there, something like that. A lot of Warhammer players. Belgium has 11 million people, and all of them are within 2 hours of each other. So naturally, Belgium has a big tournament every 2 weeks, and all the guys, it's always the same 30 people there, of course, yeah. But they have the big tournaments here as well. And in Germany, we have like Munich, we have Berlin, we have Wuppertal, we have Frankfurt, we have Mannheim. So we have a lot of centers, but you drive just like up to 9 hours from one to the other, or 10 hours from one to the other. You drive very long. So naturally, not a lot of people will travel there, especially if there are a lot of local tournaments. That's what you said as well. So I think it's important to have the calendars in check, and it's important to allow, especially for things like the Masters, like to check the most competitive players. They will also fly to Modena, maybe. They will maybe take part in other team tournaments, So you have to respect that a bit when planning the big tournaments. You cannot blaze UK Masters 2 weeks before WTC or 1 week after Modena.
Exactly, because you're going to run the risk of that. People won't be able to attend that, and the reality is, if a lot of the option is, can you attend the Masters in wherever the hell it's going to be held in the UK, or do you want to go take part in an event in Modena or in the WTC? They're very different. Like the Masters was fantastic, but the experience at WTC was the single best experience I've ever had.
We just praised Frederick in the last iteration. I know, we didn't record, but let's do this again.
I know.
It was
really praise on Frederick and the team. The WTC was genuinely, for all sorts of different reasons, the experience. I think we talked about it when we weren't recording, but you'd think in that kind of event where it's some of the best players across the world, that it could get really sort of hardcore, really competitive, people trying to catch people out and sort of win at all costs sort of mentality. And there was none of that. There was absolutely none of that at all. It was just a celebration of Warhammer, and Fred and the team and the judges and whatnot did such a remarkable job at hosting it.
Absolutely. It was the best.
So
It was the best Warhammer
thankful.
tournament I ever was. I have to admit that. And it was maybe it was for sure the highest, the old world competitive tournament. So where I was, maybe not overall, but for the old world, which states two things. First off, maybe the old world is not as competitive right now, or not as try hard, not as try hard as other systems. So the people are super easy, even on the highest level. And we all know each other from online gaming, from chats, from discords, from videos. And for me, it was like family reunion, I came there and a lot of people came to me and shaking hands, drinking together, all that, 5 wonderful games. The only thing that set me down a little bit was that I was sick at that weekend, so I didn't feel that great for my health, but it was still being sick, being hurt here, and it was the best weekend for Warhammer I ever had.
Well,
despite that.
we were on Team England were on a no drinking ban for the weekend. We were allowed two beers a day. That was it.
That is not correct. I can confirm that is not correct. When I arrived there Friday evening, the first drunk person I saw was Alex. Not the entirety of Team England.
Alex was okay. Alex was out of drink because he wasn't playing, apparently. But after we won on the Sunday, obviously it was amazing. We're like, this is it. We're gonna have a massive blowout. So I was just thinking about, after you mentioned it, I had, I think, 3 drinks and then had a horrendous migraine, and I was in bed by 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was a disaster. It was awful. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, the weekend was. You're right, though, because the community is now so much more linked because of online gaming, because of things like Warhol and Discords and things like that. You knew some of these people. You almost felt you knew these people before you met them, which was just amazing. I don't know whether that's sort of.
But even other people. For example, Spain. We faced Spain in round 1, and no one knew Spain because Spain does not at all participate.
It's very insular.
It's very insular, and no one knew them. I mean, we know Italy, we know Jelly de Lama, and all the people from talking and all that. No one knew Spain. Everyone was like, "How are they? They are so highly ranked in recruit. Are they good or not? Are they tryhards?" And people scouted them and said, "Oh, they play super precise as a preparation for WTC. Not that those are the tryhards who will maybe then spike out." And they were so lovely guys. It was a blast.
Oh, I was going to say they were just lovely guys.
Wonderful guys. It was a blast to play against them, and they were so easygoing and all that. And they wanted to make a good impression. And yeah, we changed jerseys after the tournament as well with Spain, or at least I unlocked it.
Yeah.
And wonderful experience.
With
whomever you talked on this tournament, you were immediately connected, and you had immediately a blast and a good talks and good vibes. And this is the best selling point I feel for the old world as a game system and for the community. This community is gold. This community is really gold, and we should do the best with it, or the best out of it, right? I love that.
I couldn't agree more. I think the best thing about Old World isn't inherently the game itself. It's the community around the game. It's, and I don't know if it's a lot of it's because people play it because they love the setting. And they've played it, they were growing up playing all different editions of Warhammer. It's back now, so people come at it almost. I think a lot of people come at it with that nostalgia feel.
Yeah.
And
but
it hasn't.
It also has unique selling points to in contrary to older editions like Fallback in Good Order, which gives a fresh vibe, which gives some interactions and all that, and playing around this.
Well,
it's awesome. We just talked about. When I was a kid, I started collecting Dark Elves, and then I went to university and school and all that, and when I finally made money, I came back to the LGS and said, "Guys, where's Warhammer? Here I am, I have time, I have money," and they were like, "It's dead, it's just gone two years ago." And okay, but the old world, what it did is, I just got my Dark Elves out of the keller. I repaired a lot, I built new models and all that, but I just put them on the databases and I could just play. And for Warhammer 40k, like, my army is 6 years old, and 85% of the models I have are not supported anymore. I can't bring them to tournament. So this is right now still, and I hope it stays the same, also a unique selling point of the old world. You can just collect what you want, you can play what you want, you can keep your treasures, you can play with them, you can still play with the old people that come back, as you said. Some people have met at my tournament I did in Saarbrücken, which I haven't seen for 25 years. and they were like, "Oh, it's still the same faces again." So it was wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful.
we had something so at the Last Forgotten North. Like we host a social event on the Friday night as well. So the hotel, we open the hotel room so people can come down, use our tables, play games,
That's
like
a good
just
idea.
have beers, chat. And there was a set of guys who who used to play back in the day, and they hadn't seen each other at a Warhammer event for the better part of sort of over 2 decades, and like they had some beers, they played sort of a card game on the table. It was that's the kind of community that we're in.
Yeah.
And that is like the people I've met through Old World, both in the UK and like online and at WTC. That's what makes the hobby so unique and so incredible.
Yeah, I can only fully agree. I mean, 40K, for example, in Germany is more attractive because you have 600 people tournaments and all that, and you also have all the YouTubers. It's similar to the Old World, of course, in regards of that, but it feels more distant. It's not that like it's family feeling, and it's not as warm-hearted as the Old World is. And I can only encourage people to go to tournaments, because on tournaments you will not have these sweaty guys who try to kill you with a knife if it's needed. No, you have wonderful games. If we look at the WTC, as you said, highest level of gaming, and we had only fun games, because the Old World is, of course, not the very most competitive gaming system when it comes to rules or when it comes to the conduct of the game. So quite often it will come down to some ridiculous dices, or you have to make sure, or you have to make yourself clear that there will be things which you cannot align in the rules with. So you need some judge calls, but it's not a bad thing. You just cannot align because there are not the perfect rules and all that.
And the thing is with those, as long as people are accepting that, if you can't, everyone reads rules through their own lens. I think we said sort of before we recorded that. Something can be what you think is crystal clear, and someone else thinks is crystal clear, but you're both reading it completely differently because of the way they're written. Like, and fundamentally, like, that's okay. I mean, it's not ideal and from a competitive sense, but it's okay. Like, you're always going to read through that lens. But if you can't align that at the table, that's also okay. Get a judge, and then whatever the table calls, you just accept and play it that way. Because the judge is also going to read it through their eyes.
He will come up with something both of you didn't think of. It's completely different.
And
then what I saw there, even on final tables, when I played Arvid from Belgium or something like that, then we take things back because we had no clue that it works out like this from the rules, and it was like, okay, then of course I wouldn't have done this. Then you were in range there. It's okay for me, and so you have to bring that mentality, and then it becomes immediately a very, very easy game, easy feeling, very good feeling, and you play together. You don't play it against each other. And I don't think I had a single negative experience. I can't remember now. I just say on a Warhammer tournament where it was really critical that we disagreed very hard and all that, and there were no hard feelings involved. Or maybe after the game, sorry guy, I just was a bit salty about the dice. It's not about you. Yeah. Something like this, it's okay, but
and that happens. That's good. That can happen. But you're right. I've never walked away from a game of Warhammer in the old and thought, oh,
I caused such a situation myself right now in the game against Ortwin, which was a bit too much because I totally whiffed my case run in the German team tournament, and I just forgot that I have rallying cry. In the last round, where my Exalted on a Dragon was fleeing, and I did not rally him with the Lord, I forgot that, but I would have rallied him. And I failed the normal rallying roll, and that forced my Lord into a suicide charge to make him whiff his terror check, which I wouldn't have done. I would have taken the 11 or the draw or whatever. So that's what, like, a situation where I thought, oh, this is really... And I talked to him, and I said, can we do this? I mean... I rolled then after the game the dices, and I showed him, see, I would have rallied him, and this was an awkward situation, but it was my fault. It was totally my fault. I excused it with him. You have these games where it doesn't work out, or where you forget things and all that, but still, the setting for the rules alone, or what we said about this, and for the community, you have to be easy, and you will see that the people on the tournaments are easy in most cases. So I host the tournaments myself. I'm constantly running between 30 or between 20 and most 40 up to 80 now with the German Com Team tournament, player tournaments, constantly running. And it's once in a month that we have a problem. Once in a month with so many games that are run on, I have to say, the highest level. If you look at these tournaments there, it's the highest level. So there's even on the highest level, there's no stress at all when it comes to this.
No, I think that's what I would always say to encourage anyone who does want to sort of dip their toe into the hobby. Don't be put off by the concept of the competition or a GT or a tournament. Like, it's not that kind of community. There's better players and there's less good players. The worst that you're going to happen is that you're going to get beat, but no one's going to beat you in a way that you're going to feel bad. Like you'll probably. I remember on the previous Forgotten North, I had a friend who's just got back to the hobby.
It can happen. It can happen if you have different expectations. So it's important to have the right expectation. Or the first tournaments where you don't absolutely know rules. Of course, it will be a mess. It will be a mess with the system, but you learn pretty fast by that, and the people are all willing to help. I mean, I basically had a demo game in WTC in round 5 where I showed my opponent what to do with dragon charges, aligning to the flank, and how you can defend that and all that. Yeah. And people are easy about that. They're always easy and they're always eager to help you.
I think that's the thing. If you're not, it is such a welcoming community across, fundamentally across the world. So I can say that after WTC, because it was the same process when I had a wonderful. It didn't matter which. I could pick any of the 5 teams that I played. They were all wonderful. I think the only thing to say really though was that the Belgian team are disgusting in the fact that they're too nice, too good looking, too good at painting, and too good at playing the game. It's not okay to be able to do all of those 4 things. Like, just for clarity, Belgium, all right? You sort yourselves out. It's not okay.
Belgium is awesome. What they squeeze out of 11 million inhabitants there is pure hobby gold. When I look at they have 42 people applying for the team, for the WTC team next year. They took best painted. They took a second spot. They pushed themselves to keep the best painted.
About Belgium.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's not me being sorry. They were, when I say ridiculous, they were ridiculously good.
And they were not commissioned, right? This was painted by the tournament players. So this is a thing. When I look at the old world, you can see that the better the players, the more time they invest into their armies. And this is maybe not unique, but this is okay. When I look in Germany, Germany is quite often like that.
Yeah, no, and I think not at the time. Actually, I think you're right. It's just that, and I can only speak for myself. Like, I'm not a very good hobbyist in the fact that I don't really enjoy building models, and
but
I'm very hit and miss whether I enjoy painting models. If I'm honest,
but what do you play again? What do you play again? It's like rattle can.
Hordes of stuff. Yeah, exactly. But to be fair, my wife doesn't play at all. But she does paint models. She will paint models for me. So I'm blessed in that regard.
Okay.
That she will happily build skeletons so that I can then take them outside, spray them, wash them, and then she'll paint like the shields and stuff for us and whatever, which is brilliant. But I think you're right. You see some real high-end players as well, or people who are in the hobby because they mainly prefer the hobby side of it. That's the other thing. And the quality of the modelling and the painting is just remarkable. Like, as someone who's not a very good painter myself, I so appreciate at the tabletop standard. Don't get me wrong, it looks fine from 3 foot away. It's not awful. But you see some of the high-end painted models, and I just think, oh my god, like, it's like playing against a work of art, and that is amazing, and I super appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Myself, I'm like, as you said, tabletop standard, like maybe a bit average painter, but when you go to tournaments of that level, you expect a lot of commissioned armies, maybe, or or ragtag armies or something like that, and people are really into the hobby as a whole. As you said, they're here because of the setting, they're here because they live the hobby, because they love the hobby in a total thing. And yeah.
That part there is why I kind of never was too bothered about trying the Ninth Age, because the reason I play Warhammer is that I grew up playing Warhammer, and the world of Warhammer, the old world, the Badlands, the Darklands, Nehekara, Lustria, they're practically real places to me, and that's the setting I want to play my games in.
The issue I have with that, what you're saying, while I agree with you, is that it always sounds a little bit excusing for the system, which is for the old world not needed, in my opinion. It's still a wonderful system, yeah. So.
No, oh yeah, and it can be quite excusing. That's why I never left a GW system, because I couldn't leave that world behind.
As you were forced to, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I've read all the when I was young. I read all the old Warhammer books. I wish I still had them, but I don't. But like that's the setting that I want to play my games in.
Agree. We talked about tournaments. We talked about the community in tournaments, and I said to you prior to this, because you said yourself you want to get to know some of the German community. How is it? How is that? What is your perception of the German community, of the old world in Germany? Do we have any perception of that?
Well, you know, strangely, and I don't know if this is just a little bit of naivety on my behalf, which it almost certainly is, frankly. I almost just assume it's very similar to the UK in the fact that it's evidently a good scene full of a scene full of good players. I assumed it was. You have less old world players.
Yeah, we have a lot less players. Yeah.
The UK has a disproportionately large amount of players versus its population, but that's probably because we're also the home of Warhammer.
Yeah, it was coming home, right? It was coming home, indeed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you know, like obviously, I'd expect the UK to have inherently more players because it's where it's from.
I can just give you some numbers. We had in Germany on T3, I think you could maybe add 20 tournaments to that. 81 tournaments in the whole of Germany in the last year. So maybe we had less than 100, I think. And the maximum was around average 18%. So we had around 1,500 sold tickets. Not 1,500 players, but 1,500 sold tickets, to put things in perspective.
So in the UK last year for the 2025 season on World Rankings, we had 204 tournaments.
Yeah, that's double the number of tournaments, but it's also a multiple of the players. When I look at what you do for what you contribute to your economy of the UK, I love that little.
Oh yeah, I mean,
in the presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. We're single-handedly trying to fix the UK's GDP.
That's around.
Nothing else is doing it. Yeah. We're trying our best.
Someone has to do the work after Brexit. That's around 10 times the size Germany has. Around that, it's around 5 to 10 times the size of the German community. Or one has to say correctly, it is not the German community; it is the German tournament community, right? Because a lot of people in Germany do not play tournaments. I know a lot of people who play at home, play in their small groups or at local clubs, and they're not visible. They are there, they're not that visible. Maybe they don't have more time. Maybe they just cannot do more time. They cannot do the tournaments. But I think the one thing we both agree on is, and this is a shout out to all you people out there, there is no reason to not go to tournaments or to not connect with the people on the tournaments, because that is just awesome.
I'm sure you'll find like games at a tournament are not dissimilar from your games with friends in your own house or your own gaming club. I would genuinely encourage anyone to reach out, because there's a wide community out there that are probably just friends waiting to happen. Frankly, I've got some friends that I will now, unfortunately for them, keep for life through Warhammer. In fact, a huge portion of my friend pool of friends that I've made through Warhammer and now won't let go. So,
Yeah, also via tournaments, yeah. Without the tournaments, we too
yeah,
wouldn't talk here.
it's via tournaments. It's not via like local clubs, although like local clubs are the heartbeat of the game. And,
absolutely.
Like,
they're like the grassroots movement there, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But honestly, anyone who is playing, like, do dip your toe in the water, because the other thing I would say is that you catch the bug, because actually the feeling of a tournament is just super. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
There's a buzz about the room. Like, it's just full of people who are just passionate about the same thing you're passionate about, and actually that just feeds it into a really good feeling.
Is there anything that your federation or that you or other people do to encourage people to bring trust to all this, to the community? I'm not sure if we talked about this while recording. I don't think so.
So the federation, they obviously they've set up various the UK Masters Discord, and there's the Team England Discord, and the vast majority of all of those two Discord channels, as well as the Team England social media stuff that David runs, is about encouraging the game and building the game, especially the Masters Discord. They do on there. They spend all their time pushing events, so that the minute anyone announces an event in some weird corner of the internet somewhere, that the chairs are doing a really excellent job at getting that person into the Discord, getting it onto the calendar in the Discord, and just encouraging communication, and just people being able to throw things on that Discord. It's moderated, so that again, I think people have got a bit of a fear that,
but it all, for me it all adds up.
It.
For me, it all adds up. What you say, what we talked about, it all adds up. You have a lot of layers here. You have a lot of people who are building these layers. A lot of different people working all together, and so you help people. You bring people into the Discord by offensive communication. Let's say like this. Yeah, you encourage people to join up, and everyone is like working together, not in a direct sense, but everyone is achieving the same goal, right? Everyone is trying to push tournaments of other people and to have the calendar working and all that. At least this is what I see from the outside. I'm not sure.
Yes,
no. Will have internal conflicts, I guess.
I've not been fortunate to attend one of the Black Country GTs, which was the ones that Sam runs in Birmingham, just purely because of like work schedule and time off that I've not been able to get. Damn life getting in the way of my hobby time. But I encourage people to go to any event that I've been to and had a good time at, which is pretty much every event. I encourage. I'll then sell that event to anyone who asks about it. So Mark and David, who run Toy Soldier, are across in Stockport at Element Games. They're sold out for them. Their next one that I also can't attend because of work, but it's an excellent venue and they were an amazing event. So if anyone asks, there's a Toy Soldier event coming up, I'll like, if you can attend, go get a ticket. There's some amazing players over there, but more importantly, some amazing people over there. Like Mark, Keith, David, some of the guys over there they're wonderful players, but like behind being wonderful players, they're really excellent people as well. John's just in the Dragon Slayers guys, a group from back in 6th edition, particularly in 7th. They're just starting to run the Sheffield Slaughter again, which is quite a famous event that used to run every year in the UK. Hopefully it's going to move to the summer, so but it's run the same weekend as our Six Nations event. So I unfortunately can't attend because I'll be playing for Team England at the Six Nations. But every TO, I've never seen a TO sort of bad mouthing any other event. If anything, we talk one of those events up because we're all just. No one gets anything by hosting events. You know that you host, so you don't make anything from it.
Yeah, exactly. You will hurt yourself
it's
in the end, or in the long run. You will hurt just the community, and you will hurt yourself by doing that. So it doesn't make sense to do that. And I think I get it now somehow. You have the singles ranking. You encourage people to take part there, or they take part automatically. Everyone has still a lot of freedom. You have a wonderful team of a lot of people who support each other and who try to build a community there, who already built a federation. You're lucky that other countries surrounding you help with that. And the TOs, as you said, they're not bad-mouthing each other. They're supporting each other. They're helping building tournaments together and community.
Yeah, and the other thing we've as TOs in the UK have been a privileged position, and particularly sort of Mark and David from the Toy Soldier guys, Sam and the Dudley boys, and Rich particularly with ourselves, we'll email each other as well, or message on Discord to bounce ideas off one another about comps and what do you think of this? Would this be something you might run? Oh yeah, actually that's quite nice. We might try that. And
so you're constantly talking about comps.
Yeah, just talking about how would you judge this? Oh, actually I've judged that like that. Oh, I didn't read it like that. Why did you judge that? And we're almost trying to align on how we interact with different rules sometimes as well, but not in such a formal aspect, more just learning from one another in a kind of organic setting.
That's great, yeah.
So I don't know if that's probably maybe by the sounds of it, probably the biggest difference between the UK scene and the German scene is, although we're just as independent, we're probably a lot more interactive with one another. Yeah. By the sounds of it, than sort of the correspondence scene in Germany.
Yeah, I think that's up. I mean, you have also more people. Yeah, we talked about up to 5 times more people, so there will be a lot more chatting. There will be a lot more activity on these discords and all that.
And the Discord is that's something is in the UK. The Discords are so active, so active.
Yeah,
it's good because when you're not playing the hobby, you're not building the hobby or playing. You can talk about it, which is what we want.
We're very splintered. We have a few forums still, website forums. We have a lot of people have their own discords, or smaller discords. I mean, I host a Discord myself, which is mostly international. It's not that German. Not a lot of Germans are there active, or there are, and we also have some parts of it. But it's, and I think that is indeed a point that the people have to push themselves a little bit to centralize, or to. Everyone has to take that step and be active a little bit more within the community, but on centralized spots so everyone can grow together, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's no one grows at the in a hobby like ours. I always think no one grows at the expense of someone else. Yeah. We grow better. We grow better together in an organic fashion. But people have to be open to that and sort of be willing to reach out and chat with other TOs and it's not quite an olive branch because it's not like we're sort of in a battle or anything like that, but just that reach out that hand to offer some support, or just maybe show a little bit of sort of even fake news. Oh, you also remember how have you ruled this? Like, regardless whether you're happy with your rule or not, just to start that ball rolling a little bit. Like, someone has to take the first step, and then actually before you know it, there's a group of TOs all trying to work together to build a community and help one another run the best events possible. So, for example, I attended the Toy Soldier event, and they had a scoring sheet, and I was like, "Oh, that's brilliant! That's really good. I like the layout." And he just sent us it that he built himself, and he's like, "Oh, look, I'll send it across so you can use it, tweak it, like whatever you want."
Yeah.
And that was brilliant. It saved me having to then go build one on like Excel or something like that, which is not difficult to do, but it's just, you talked about it earlier, more time that you're investing in the admin of the hobby rather than the hobby itself. But actually, Toy Soldier and David was like, "No, you have that."
Yeah, sure.
And then Alson's passed on to somebody as well, like, "Oh, you want a scoring sheet for an event? Here you go."
I think that is super important that people should, of course, help each other, but I think a lot of people are willing to do that, and it's my personal impression or my opinion that the federation helps with that, with connecting the people or bring the people to the table. So I think this is a good would be a good step. I mean, you can see there's the top 3 nations in WTC were the 3 nations that actually had a federation. Were the only nations which had a federation, and they were all on the top 3. So it surely helps to build stuff. I mean, of course, if you have big player base, if you have a lot of good players,
look, of course, like that stuff will help. Yeah? But organisation and the sort of interconnection and building that wider thing, like through the federation, like you're saying, there's channels for things, and there's someone there trying to sort of drive it. You can see the impact like that does have. It does make for a healthier hobby space.
Absolutely.
Especially the competitive end as well.
I do fully agree. Beep. We then went on to talk about the UK Masters Comp, about Comp in general, about the meta, about the upcoming FHQ and all that. And I will present you that in another video to keep it shorter and easier to digest. This will follow up in a second part. Okay, we came from UK Masters to Teil now. I think we had a nice talk. We've gone through a lot of stuff, a lot of insights for me, hopefully for the viewers, the audience as well, how you can build a brand with Forgotten North, with tournaments, how you can build up a community as you did in the UK with the Federation, with the Masters, how you can use different tools to build that, to enhance that, all that, and to improve the community and the hobby. Yeah, and then how the wild ride through tournaments and everything, and just some lovely chat with you.
It's just been lovely to talk. It's lovely to talk Warhammer.
Yeah, just about the hobby and stuff and things.
Talk world. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I also very much enjoyed, and I'm very sorry that we did not record that the first hour where we just were celebrating the hobby and the stories.
We were just having a lovely time.
Yeah, it was just far more engaging than what we did in the end. Sorry guys, but I hope the insights were great, and I can't wait to see you again at the tables and to
yes,
play.
Well, if not before, then I'll see you in Spain, so.
I hope so. The German team qualifier is not 100% set how it will work out.
Right.
How the process is, I think we will have a final tournament on May 10, but I already promised my wife last year it's Mother's Day, and last year Mother's Day I was on a grand tournament, and I had to promise her that I will not be on a grand tournament this year. So I will not be able to be there, but I will be in Talavera somehow. I'm not sure in what role, but we will see each other there. And I said to Tom and to Dave a few days ago, I owe you a beer for some incident, so we will see each other at the bar anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. It's been an absolute pleasure. In fact, genuinely, thank you for having us on. It's been a delight just talking Warhammer. Yeah,
wonderful. I enjoyed it very much, and I just enjoyed it to see that the vision and the perception of the hobby in the UK is exactly the similar vibe I feel here, and the community, the worldwide community, as you said, it's worldwide. It's not only Europe, it's not only other countries, it's worldwide.
That's what caught me the most, I think, is it doesn't matter whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Germany, whether you're in the US, whether you're in Spain or Italy or like anywhere else, like literally any country, the feel was almost exactly the same.
Yep, agree on that.
Which was lovely.
Wonderful. Okay, so I hope to the audience, I see you guys on multiple tournaments in the future as well, be it here in Mannheim or somewhere else where we have the time to play each other. My next tournament will be in Lille, in France, where I go with Team Belgium, as part of Team Belgium. I'm super delighted to do that, super happy to do that. It will be a blast to play together and not against Arvid and Boris and all the guys, to compete as a guest team in the French national qualifier. And this will be a blast. We'll face Nikki there. We will see Nikki, Monsieur Chacuteur will be there. And this will be great fun. And I will surely report from that tournament as well. Until then, thank you, Scott, for being here. It was great to have you here. I think Scott tours a lot all over YouTube. I see him occasionally in videos.
So we've obviously got our own Forgotten North channel on YouTube where we mainly talk about our events, but also just Warhammer, but like I'm fortunate to get invited onto Dowie After Dark quite often, which is amazing. And obviously I was recently on Ed's channel, so I'm essentially just. I'd say I'm a gun for hire, but I don't actually need any hire, and I just need a slot, and I'm there. Any excuse to talk Warhammer with other people who love the hobby is exactly what it is.
If you enjoyed the talk with Scott, if you enjoyed his wisdom about the hobby and his insights into the UK, make sure you follow him around the UK and European, the old world channels, because as you can see, even there the community is very supportive and very connected, and I haven't heard a single bad word from one YouTuber over another or anything like that. It's wonderful to have you here, and keep up the very nice work, Scott.
Oh, well, likewise. And good. enjoy playing on Team Belgium.
Yeah, I think I will. I will play Newell, so I have to build and paint 30 horses, which is not that enjoyable, but
no.
I'm still waiting for the Puppets 4 bits. I bought from Puppets 4 some Bushi banners and stuff like that to convert.
Nice.
But
yeah.
All right, guys. Until the next video, then. See ya, and thank you for the likes.
Thank you.
LD3. Der Deutsche, the Old World Patreon.